Okay, Lag Sameach. Lag Ba'omer, Lag Sameach. In honor of Lag Ba'omer, I found some little piece of davening that is more Kabbalistic, given that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, he could call him the father of Primiyut Torah in one sense, and he's the first one to try and mix and bring together the inner part of Torah with the external part of Torah, which is what we did when we learned the Amidah and we learned Nigle and Chassidus. This is what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was the first to do. We'll start with that story. Rabbi Yecheskel Landau, known also as the Noda B'Yehuda, a rabbi from the 18th century, both in Poland and in the Czech Republic. He wasn't a Chassid, but he respected the Baal Shem Tov, as they were alive at the same time. Even the Baal Shem Tov would come to his house. Sometimes when he was visiting his city, he would visit him. Now he didn't like all the quote-unquote innovations of the new Hasidic movement, but he wouldn't talk in public about it because he respected the Baal Shem Tov. But in one of his letters, he was answering a question. He kind of let go a little bit. It was a question regarding a little tiny piece that we say in davening, right before Baruch She'amar, page 30 in my siddur. I don't know what page there, it's going to be around that, where we say Leshem Yichud. Leshem Yichud Kudsha Berich Shechinah Yachad Hashem Yud-Key and Vav-Key Hashem B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Yeah, also page 30, the first line, tiny little line. So he thought it was presumptuous of Hasidim to be saying this phrase. He said, no, you're making these Kabbalistic unifications. What are you putting this in the siddur? Who do you think you are? He didn't say this, but this is like the train of thought that he had. And he was complaining about this in this letter where he was answered, and then he quoted a pasuk. The pasuk is from Hosea, chapter 14, that says, Mi chacham ve'yaven ele, navon ve'yedaem, who is wise and will understand these, discerning and will know them. Ki yesharim darchei Hashem, for the ways of Hashem are straight. V'tzadikim yelchu bam, and the righteous shall walk in them. Upoishim yikashlu bam, and the rebellious shall stumble on them. He quoted this pasuk, but he changed one word. He didn't write upoishim yikashlu bam, and the rebellious shall stumble on them. He wrote uchasidim yikashlu bam, and the chasidim will stumble on them. So instead of writing the rebellious or the pushim, it's a sin, right? Slach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu, right? The pesha is a type of sin. So he changed the rebellious sinners for chasidim. Says years later, his grandson was preparing to publish a new edition of books of answers from his grandfather, which included this letter, right? Just like we have the Rebbe letters published, it's common to publish these letters. When you have letters that are answering halachic issues, they will be published. And he wanted to change the word back. He wanted to make a slight change. I mean, the letter already talks against Hasidim, but he didn't like that he changed the pasuk. He wanted to change the word back. But he consulted with the Hasidic Rebbe friend. It doesn't say in the story who, but a Hasidic Rebbe. He told him, why are you going to change that? Just leave it how it is. It says, your grandfather turned sinners, rebellious sinners, into Hasidim. And you want to turn Hasidim into sinners? It's a play on words. You don't get it?
Mm-hmm. No.
Well, now, if you have to explain the story, you miss kind of the story. No. your grandfather changed the word sinners for Hasidim. So he didn't say change the word. He says your grandfather changed sinners into Hasidim. And now you want to change Hasidim into sinners.
Okay, now I got it.
Just leave it how it is. So this is a story related directly to Leshem Yichud, to this little piece. Can I borrow a siddur? Oh no, I have it here. I thought I didn't have it. I have the translation.
Leshem Tov lived when?
Mid-1700s.
What about the Vilna Gaon?
And 1700s, beginning of 1800s.
Same time, okay.
The Vilna Gaon was with the Alter Rebbe. Not they might have been alive at the same time, but when the Vilna Gaon was the Vilna Gaon, then the Alter Rebbe was the Alter Rebbe. The Baal Shem Tov wasn't there anymore, physically.
I didn't find an elevator.
All the way at the end.
And this open
Yeah.
these doors.
Okay. So, what does it say? Leshem Yichud Kudsha Berich Ushchinte. For the sake of the union of the Holy One, blessed be He, and His Shechinah. Leyachada, to unite, Shem Yud-Key and Vav-Key, the name of the letters Yud-Key with Vav-Key, B'yechuda Shalim, in perfect unity or in perfect oneness, B'Shem Kol Yisrael, in the name of all of Israel. Super clear, no? What does this mean? We say it every morning. What does this mean? I mean, Chabad says it every morning. What does this mean?
I don't know.
Good, that's why we have a class. I don't promise you'll be an expert in this once we finished, but at least you'll be able to say something like ChatGPT would.
You didn't think I was an expert already?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay, important. When you say this in the Siddur, and I don't know why it's not clearly said, you don't say, you say, literally say, Shem Yud-Key Vav-Key. You say K. Like usually when you're davening, you say the name of Hashem.
Right.
And when you are not davening, you might, instead of saying, you say Hashem, or you say Elokim, not with the Hey. But in this case, the right way to say it when you're davening is Yud-Key Vav-Key. You don't say Yud and Hey, you say Yud-Key. Why is not written? Why is like not? There's no instruction, and I don't know if there's an instruction in the English one, but anyway, that's the right way to say it.
Which we say also in other places, right?
We do not say this in other places. Chabad does not say this in other places.
Elokeinu.
No, Yud-Key, this phrase, Leshem Yichud Kudsha Berich Ushchinte, Yud-Key Vav-Key.
No. Elokai, no, you don't say Elokai. Sometimes.
When you're davening, you don't say Elokai, you say Elohai. You say the actual
When
name.
You say Elokai.
Because when you're learning or you're not davening, it's better not to say Hashem's name.
Okay.
Oh, important. There is a clear directive or reasoning that if you're studying Torah or if you're teaching, you're allowed to say the names. But Chabad in general, it's like you try to be extra careful, so you don't say it if you don't need to. Like right now, I felt the need to say it because it wasn't being clear.
Yeah.
So if you're helping somebody with a bracha, you would say
You can say it, yes. Or if you have a 3-year-old or 2-year-old and teaching him to say brachos, you say it the right way. Don't confuse him with saying Hashem and Elokeinu.
Right.
But if you're dealing with wise older men with long beards, then you can say it this way. Okay. What is this doing? This is kind of setting the stage of why we are davening. Morning. The objective of my prayer that I'm really about to start now. When I start Baruch She'amar, and technically after you say Baruch She'amar, you shouldn't speak until Yishtabach. But after Yishtabach, you say Kaddish, and you start the brachos of Shema, and then you shouldn't speak until the end of the Amidah. So it's like the preparatory steps are done. We're like going to start davening now. So why am I davening? In order to unify Kudsha Berich Ushchinte in a perfect way, in the name of all of Israel, not just my name. This is like, I'm stating, like they teach you, or they taught me when I did the MBA, they taught us to run meetings. So anybody can sit down and do it. So you don't just run a meeting. It says, first you state why you're here, and then you give an agenda. So, but you start with saying the objective of this meeting is A, B, C. So anybody here wants to talk about somebody else, great, we'll do it another time. Because we don't want to not fulfill the purpose for why we're here. So right now I'm here to daven, and this is my purpose. Leshem Yichud Kudsha Berich Shechinah. What am I trying to achieve during this davening session? To unify Yud-Key and Vav-Key. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. I also have to turn the page. What does this mean? Okay, we have to unify Yud-Key and Vav-Key, which is, you could say it's two names of Hashem, but it's really one name of Hashem separated into two. Okay, now Kabbalah says that technically you should say this before any mitzvah. Before any mitzvah, you state that you're trying to achieve this objective. And in fact, I'm sure other people do, but Sfardim, in a lot of places, do this. I remember very vividly when we used to say Sfiras Aimer in Venezuela. Our Chabad shul was taken over by Sfardim in a good way. We had a nice relationship. Before saying the bracha, there was like a whole paragraph. Leshem Yichud Kudsha. There was a whole thing what you were stating. So a lot of Sfardim have a lot of Leshem Yichuds, depending on the mitzvah you're about to do. But the Alter Rebbe says that it's good enough to have one in the morning, and that's not only sets the stage for davening, but for the whole day. Anything I'm going to do during today is in order to unify Yud-Key and Vav-Key in the name of Allah Israel in a perfect union. Yeah? And so we need to understand a little bit, what does this phrase mean? No? What is Kudsha Berich U'Shechintei? What are these two things? Why do they have to unify? Why it's a complete union? Chud Shalim, every word has to have some meaning. Why in the name of all of Israel? Why Yud-Key and Vav-Key? Let's try to understand these few words, what's going on here. It seems to be an important thing. Okay, well, how many minutes I have?
I have 6:35, so I guess 8.
In honor of David, we're going to do 6.5.
Okay.
He's not here, but we feel his presence. Okay. Now, we mentioned this before in one of the classes of the Amidah, that Hashem has many names, right? Hashem has many names. You can call him Kel, or Aleph Lamed, Hashem, Elohim, Tzevakois, Shakai, has many names. Yeah?
Abishter, or is that just a Yiddish thing?
That's like saying God in Yiddish.
Okay.
But now Hashem is not really defined. You can't define Hashem, right? He's beyond the possibility of being defined and limited. And so when you say one of Hashem's names, you're basically trying to deal with a little tiny aspect of Hashem in how he's interacting with the world, and that's what you're seeing. No? I gave the example once of the pictures. So before the era of iPhones and panoramic pictures, you might have a guy in the middle of, I don't know, beautiful desert, mountains, and he's there. He said, how do I capture this? I can take a picture, but it's not it. And so what did he do? He took like 15 pictures all around, and now at least he could paint the whole picture. And it still wasn't it. I've been there, but it was much better than just, oh, look at this beautiful picture. No, look at this. Look at where I was surrounded by. So it says every name of Hashem is like a picture. And even when you have all the pictures, you still don't have Hashem, but at least, you have as much as you can get through it. They also give the example of you have water and you put it in different cups of different colors. And you see the water in that color. So Hashem is dressing himself up in different midos, Chochmah, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gvura, and we're interacting with just this little piece, or this little thing. Okay, based on this, we have to understand two ways here we have to relate to Hashem. Kudsha Berichu u'Shechintei. Kudsha Berichu u'Shechintei. Kudsha Berichu in Hebrew would be HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is more common. The Holy One, blessed be He.
So there's another name,
What other name?
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whenever you were talking about different.
No, so Kudsha Berichu is like in Aramaic, but it's the same. Kudsha Berichu, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's the same,
Right.
but this is in Aramaic. And Hebrew, Shechintei would be Shechinah, the Shechinah, and Shechintei, so it's the same. So what is HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shechinah? The word Kadosh demonstrates something that is separate, something holy, separate, something that is transcending everything. So here we're dealing with Hashem in His infinite form. So He's Kadosh. It's completely separate. Well, the Shechinah, the word Shechinah comes from Shochen. Shochen means to rest. The Shechinah rests in the Beit HaMikdash, and the word Shechinah means to rest, the resting thing. No? So the Shechinah represents Hashem in the world, in the limitations. Okay, so now at least I have a minimum parameter to understand that there's an infinite and a finite thing of Hashem here going on that I'm trying to unify. Yeah?
I would say 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. Now, there are 3 ways, I don't know if we'll finish this, but there are 3 ways that human beings have understood their relationship to Hashem. One way is idolaters. They don't see Hashem as anything relevant. Chas v'shalom, it's not relevant. He didn't create the world. He doesn't manage the world. The world is managed by this little statue I have here in my house, or by the sun, or by whatever. Another one, Chasidei Umois Ha'olam, the pious people of the world do believe in Hashem, do believe He created the world, but a lot of them thinks that, yes, He created the world, but He kind of put Himself into this box called nature, and He can't get out of this box. It's like He's limited by this box. So if you want something to grow from the ground, you need to work the ground very hard and plant, and if you want more to grow, you need to plant more. It's not like it's just going to come out. No, it's like, yeah, Hashem created the world, but He's limited by the rules He or something set up. Much better than the first one, but still not right. The third one believes that there can be a union between Kudsha Berichu u'Shechintei, between an infinite Hashem and a limited one. Because the previous one where he says, yeah, Hashem created the world, so He's infinite, but He's limited by these laws of nature when He's in the world, so He's not in charge, or He's in charge. We believe that Kudsha Berichu u'Shechintei are one thing, and Hashem can do what He wants with laws of nature, because He's in charge completely. And this is where we want to go through. We'll restart in this third point tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem.